Sometimes the moment we express something honestly, it immediately begins to feel false. Not before expression. Before expression, it feels completely real. You write a message, you post a thought, you upload a photograph, you say something vulnerable out loud. And then suddenly, something changes. You reread your own words and feel detached from them. You hear your own voice and it sounds unfamiliar. You see your emotions appear externally, almost like they belong to someone else. And what follows is usually called embarrassment, or insecurity, or overthink. But I don't think that's what it really is. I think something deeper happens the moment expression leaves us. Because before expression, there is only involvement. You are inside the feeling. You are inside that action. You are inside the thought. You are inside the whole experience itself. There is no distance yet between you and what you are living. But expression changes the structure of that experience. The moment something is spoken, written, posted, or recorded, it no longer exists only as lived experience. It becomes an appearance. It becomes an object. It becomes an object that's something that can now be seen. And once something can be seen, it is open to exploration and interpretation. It can be interpreted, judged, misunderstood, categorized, replayed, and the message that once sent ceases to be lived and becomes something that appears. And this shift is subtle but violent, because now you're no longer simply existing within your own action. You are encountering yourself from outside. This is why even sincere expression can suddenly feel artificial after it leaves us. Not because it was fake, but because it has become visible, and visibility changes things. The strange discomfort people feel after expressing themselves is often treated as psychological issue. People say, stop overthinking, just be yourself, don't care what others think. But I don't think so these responses fully touch the problem, because the discomfort is not merely social, it is ontology. It belongs to the structure of how human beings perceive themselves in the world, how human beings encounter, or how human beings structure the world around themselves in the world. Before expression, our consciousness is limited. You are absorbed in what you feel, but after expression, our consciousness bends back to itself. You begin seeing yourself as something that appears to others, not just living, but being perceived. And the moment perception enters, a fracture appears. This is why hearing your own recorded voice can feel disturbing. Why seeing an old post can feel unbearable and embarrassing. Why vulnerability often transforms into cringe the moment it becomes visible. Because you are no longer encountering the feeling itself. You have become an object among other objects. The philosopher Jean Paul Sartre described something similar to the expression of the case. The realization that other people do not encounter you from within your own subjectivity. They encounter you externally, as appearance, as behavior, as image, as an object, as something observable. And once you become aware of this, you begin to see yourself externally. You become a split between the one who lives and the one who is still living. Maybe this is where self-expression online feels uniquely exhausting. Social media transforms expression into permanent appearance on the internet. So thoughts become posts, experiences become content, emotion become presentation, and eventually people begin curating themselves not from lived experiences but from anticipated visibility. You stop asking, what do I feel? And start asking, how will this appear on the internet? The self becomes mediated through imagined spectators. Even authenticity starts becoming performative. Not necessarily because people are fake, but because visibility itself alters experience. The moment we know something can be seen, we relate to it differently. And this creates a strange paradox. Human beings want to be understood, but the act of making ourselves understandable inevitably transforms us into an appearance. Expression is necessary, but expression also creates distance. Maybe this is why some of the most honest feelings remain unspoken, and as the legends say, कागज जानता है मुझे कि उस तक की बात है उसी में लगती. So they do that because they do that because they are not beat, but because once expressed, they risk becoming detached from the living experience they produce. Maybe this is also why silence sometimes feels safer, because silence preserves immediacy. But of course, we cannot remain silent forever. To exist with others means to externalize ourselves constantly. To speak, to gesture, to write, to reveal, and every revelation creates separation. Not complete separation, but enough distance from self-consciousness to emerge. Maybe that discomfort never fully disappears. Maybe reassurance cannot solve it. Because it is not simple insecurity. It is the experience of becoming visible. The experience of watching something once fully alive within you become something placed into the world on the internet. Something no longer identical with your lived experience. Something that now exists independently of you. And perhaps that is the hidden force of all expression. That the moment we attempt to communicate ourselves completely, we inevitably become strangers to part of ourselves.